I'm Grace.
So let's get started.
I'm a recipe blogger, family-taught home chef,
Cheers.
Cheers.
iPhone-only photographer, and proud New Englander.
You can't beat a piping bowl of fish chowder loaded with smoky bacon, potatoes, and of course, fresh cod in a flavorful, creamy broth. I'm a New Englander, and you better believe that I have a good fish chowder recipe. And any good fish chowder recipe starts off with some bacon or some salt pork. Some people like salt pork, some people like bacon. I like So I like bacon because it's nice and smoky and meaty, whereas salt pork is just really meaty and salty. You're really missing that smoky element. So we're going with bacon. You just want to dice it up and we're going to cook it off in a pan. The bacon is set aside. I have my pot that I cooked my bacon in, and I took out all the fat, drained the fat out, but I left those delicious drippings on the bottom. And my pot is over medium heat, and now it's time to add in butter. We are not focusing on being healthy today, we're focusing on being delicious. We're gonna let it melt, and we're gonna add some veggies. Garlic. And then I like a good amount of sweet onion and celery. And we're gonna sweat the veg for just a couple minutes until it's nice and fragrant and covered in that bacon drippings and the butter. Oh, it smells so good. It's time to go cut up some potatoes. You may think russet potatoes are boring, but russet potatoes are the perfect potatoes for chowder. They really stand up nicely in the chowder. You're just gonna peel them and then dice them. Don't you just love a good spud? Time to cook them. The secret to delicious fish chowder is not to use regular broth like vegetable broth or something like that, but to use clam juice, which you can get in bottles in the grocery store. You're gonna add 3 bottles of clam juice to a big pot here with your veggies and your potatoes. And then you're going to bring this to a gentle boil, and you're gonna boil it for probably about 10 or so minutes until the potatoes are just tender. Oh, and bay leaves. Bay leaves add flavor. Pop them in. I have the most beautiful fresh cod here. You need a lot of cod. And you're just gonna cut your cod into big chunks. You wanna do big chunks, not little chunks. Because the cod will fall apart some when you're cooking it. So about 2-inch or so big chunks. That's a lot of fish. Our potatoes are nice and fork tender, so it's time to add our beautiful cod in. I'm going to turn my heat down just a little bit while I'm working, because we don't want it to be at a roaring boil here. Burl. I'm gonna add in my bacon. That was nice and cooked and crispy. And then I'm going to add my cod. And it's important to add your cod in last because you don't want to overcook cod. When it's overcooked, it's gonna just kind of fall apart and shred. So it's really good to do it last minute. And then the final ingredient is our beautiful cream. You need to add cream into your chowder. But I like this chowder because it's not too thick. The mix between the clam juice and the heavy cream, it's a perfect mix. It's not too creamy, but it's just creamy enough. Now, all we're gonna do is give this a nice big stir. Stir all your ingredients together, and then we're gonna cook this just on a low simmer, very, very low simmer, until the cod is cooked through. been about 20 minutes. And the cod itself is nice and flaky, which means it's done. Oh, look at the beautiful big pieces of cod. Oh my gosh. The final step is to add some salt, however much you like, and some pepper. I like a lot of pepper in chowder. Fish out those bay leaves. If you can find them, give it a nice stir, and then it's time to serve. There's nothing better than that amazing smell of fresh fish chowder with the smoky bacon. Let's dig in. One of my all-time favorite recipes. I can't wait to have this bowl and probably the whole pot too. Check this out on tastefullygrace.com. You won't regret it.